Hey everybody, it's Kathryn. Happy 2024. Welcome to this new year. Change makers, magic makers. You're awesome. I love you. And I want to share something with you today in lieu of a little story and maybe a teachable moment. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this. This is kind of an informal shout out to all my empath friends out there and anyone who, which is probably a lot of people now that I say this out loud, who early on in their life didn't know how to have boundaries for just being a sponge and taking on stuff, and then in many ways, shapes and forms was subjected to layers and layers upon things that had to do with that original theme for decades or an entire lifetime. So I'll start off by telling a little story. January 1st, this is how my year started out. January 1st, I was in the dog park with Finn, and he's a rambunctious doggy, even at going on 10 years old now. Very rambunctious, and when he's in the off-leash dog park, he gets pretty excitable. And he has this thing where he can just get really excited and run and start playing with other doggies and then charge. And if you're not paying attention, he'll charge right into your knees. And he hit me really hard on my left kneecap. And I let out a banshee type screech and wail that made pretty much everybody that was in the dog park, and there were a lot of folks there that day, turn around and go, and it was so surprising that even I was taken aback by it. And it was filled with a kind of rage-filled energy, and it was a full body kind of release that I was so surprised by it myself. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I didn't even know that I had that in me. And I was just angry, and I was filled with rage. And I was like, Jimmy, my husband, I was like, I gotta go home. Can you finish walking Finn? I was like, first of all, I gotta take care of this knee because it hurts like a fucking bitch. And then I have to sit down for a minute and figure out what this is. And if you're here watching, let me know you're here. I can't see the comments or who's here. But say hello, don't be shy. So I went home. I sat down with this energy. And I took this energy because I was so in the moment with it, and I was still filled with all the rage. I was still filled with all the anger. It was like a full body, head to toe, down to the subatomic particles of me, kind of feeling of being just consumed with anger and rage. And I was like, the feeling is fresh now. Let's go after this right now, because I don't want to feel this way. I'm scared by it. And what the fuck is going on? So I went into it's a decluttering technique, if you want to call it that. It's something that I share in only a couple places, but it's extremely powerful because it allows you to sit with the emotion, because the only way out is through. So it allows you to be with the fullness of that emotion, like let it go to 100%, let it go to 200%, let it completely consume you. And I was already really there. And when I got in touch with, okay, where is this in my body? Where do I feel it in my body? I need to go there, and I need to touch that place on my body. And I felt it in my throat. I felt it in my higher heart. So just above the heart chakra, and it's the tortoise heart. So it's like right here and right at my throat. And I actually felt like my windpipe was constricted. I felt like someone was stepping on my throat. That's how powerful this sensation was in the body. And so, if you don't know how to do this yourself, it's very powerful to be guided through this process of, when you feel a strong emotion that you don't want to feel, don't suppress it. Go into this sensation in the body and sit with it and be like, what is here? What is here? And so I sat with it, and I let myself open completely to it. And I went into a memory. I went into when I was a little kid, and I grew up with a really angry father. And as an empath, and as a young, tiny human on this planet who didn't know she had powers of profound clairaudience and profound clairsentience and claircognizance, and not having any boundaries with that whatsoever, that highly empathic nature of tiny Kathryn was taking in all of that. And on a soul level, thinking that maybe I could transmute it, or maybe I could hold it. So, because the pain that I was seeing that he was in was also the pain that I was in. And so it became this kind of two-way transference that I was unaware of at the time, of just being a sponge and soaking up and soaking in all that rage, all that anger. And these weren't isolated incidents from my dad. They were his everyday life of just being consumed by a lot of regret, a lot of resentment, a lot of feeling like he was a victim of the world and everyone was against him. And so that level of just being angry at the world and thinking that the world is against him and the universe is against him, God is against him, whatever, made him just angry at all turns with everything that happened in life. And if all it took was the littlest thing to not go his way, then he would blow up again. And in a lot of those moments, and this is what the memory brought up when I was going into the sensation, that in those moments where I was taking all of that in, they were moments where I was feeling happy, as any little kid should, where I was feeling joy, where I was feeling good. And so I learned early on that if I have moments in life where I feel good, it's going to change in a second, and I can't hold on to it because something is going to jerk me out and make me respond or react differently. And that feeling good is not a sustained feeling. It's something that is temporary, it is fleeting, and it's not ever my choice. It's going to be something outside of me that is going to take away feelings of good. In this case, it was my father and his mercurial moods, and that I could not trust. I'm not saying this is true, but this is what little Kathryn believed and continued to believe. And all of this moment of this pain and this rage brought me all right back to that, as if it was happening right now, because that's what it's like when we deal with frozen emotions. So then I sat with that, and I sat with, okay, where then did I adopt this belief that, everything that's going on that's good, there's always going to be something that is going to snap me out of that. It's going to happen in a moment. It's going to happen in a moment where there's pain, AKA my dog hitting my kneecap in the dog park. And yeah, things have been really going well in my life. They are really going well. But this was like another layer that needed to clear, that when things are going too well, when I'm feeling too good, it's hard to say this out loud, but it feels really good to purge this, because there's some of you who need to hear it too. And there's a reason why I'm ready to talk about this now, is because I've gone to the other side of it. And as any coach, mentor, someone who's in leadership and is in integrity with what they do, they don't come to you in the moment when they're like, fuck my life. They come to you in the moment when they've gotten to the other side of this thing and can say, hey, here's how you could do this too. So that's what I'm doing for you here now. Because this is free, maybe you won't value it. That's up for your own discernment. But what I'm sharing with you here is incredibly valuable. So please, please continue to listen if this resonates with you at all. That in those moments where I feel good, and this is something that's continued as a theme throughout my life, I can never sustain it. I can never keep it. I can never maintain that feeling, because there will be something that is out of my control that will rob me of that level of peace, of that level of feeling good, of that level of feeling satisfied, fulfilled, whatever you want to call it, joy, play. And things have been going really good. And just the day before, I had this fleeting kind of thing go through my mind of unconsciously like, God, I wonder how long this is going to last. And that memory came in too, when I was sitting with this emotion. I was sitting with the sensation, where it is in my body, at my throat, my tortoise heart. And thinking that, oh yeah, the day before I had that thought pass through my head. It's just kind of the fleeting thing. But here's the thing. If it is my reality and part of my belief system in such a way that I can't hold on to something that feels good, I can't hold on to happiness, I can't sustain a feeling of fulfillment, satisfaction, joy, play, whatever the fuck it is, then dollars to donuts, guaranteed that those are the marching orders I'm giving the rest of potential reality, which is limitless, boundless, full of possibilities, and could manifest things in my life however and wherever and whenever, because it's all just infinite potential. But through my own belief system, what I think and what I believe is true about me and my life and my experience of reality, there's that small part of me, like 0.03% of who I am, which is mind and body and subconscious. I mean, in terms of infinite reality, my subconscious is about 95%, and yours too, of our operating behavior and whole paradigm of who we are. But in terms of what is infinitely possible and full of the spectrum of the all that is, in terms of the field of one and everything that exists, my mind and body, this powerful thing that's really just the navigating force of what I call my life, is giving the marching orders, giving the directives to the rest of infinite potential to reflect back to me a reality that matches with my own belief system, that matches my own fucked up things that have been there since I was a little tiny human. And the thing is, they're not fucked up necessarily, because it's just messages from myself, by myself, reminding me that this is not who we are. And in these moments where that pain comes in, and here's the rub, you know, when we have those moments of recollection, when we have those nudges from the all that is, from source, which is just you and me and everyone else, because we're all part of the same one consciousness. When these things come up as remembrances, they came in with pain. So they usually go out with pain. That's just the way that it goes. I don't know why. I don't really have an explanation for you, but I will tell you pretty much every time, and every layer that I've peeled away, I'm continuing to peel away and will ever peel away going forward. Those moments where you find those clever ways that you hid your own power from yourself, they came in with pain. They came in a moment of grief or sadness or anger or despair or disappointment, or being robbed of your joy when you were a little kid and you're entitled more than anyone on the fucking planet to have joy, but that's not true. We're all entitled to fucking joy. But they came in with pain. And so they leave with pain. And in those moments, you have a choice. You have a choice. You can see it from the filter of your victimhood. You can see it from the filter of your victim mentality. You can see it from the filter of, oh, fuck my life. Here's another moment where it's being proven to me. Here's the evidence. The universe doesn't like me. God doesn't like me. Everything's against me. I have bad luck. You could do that. You can continue to do that. And stay in the delusion and stay in the pain. And no judgment. Stay in there. Because some of us just aren't ready to evolve out of that yet. That's okay. We're all exactly where we need to be. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need fixing. You're not broken. So you can do that. Or you can say, well, what if this is a message from myself, by myself? To remember that this is yet another place. And if I'm feeling the pain, that's your biggest breadcrumb. That's your biggest clue. Like if you're feeling that moment of pain, you're in a moment where you, masquerading as a human, who is really a soul being, who is really the universe, who is really infinite, one all existence, cleverly disguised your power in a moment of pain. And about 99.9999% of the time, that pain started as an original cause moment early on in our young life. And then because we gave from our mind and body certain directives and marching orders to the rest of infinite consciousness, infinite potential, like, hey, follow me on this journey. This is where our energy is going. And without judgment, because the universe, the all that is, has no judgment. It's all energy, vibration, and resonance. It's just following your lead in terms of the vibration you're putting out. So it will reflect, because it's all a mirror. It will just reflect back. This is what I believe about myself. And the universe says, okay, here it is. Here you go. Here's what you want. Here's what you put on the menu. So this is what we're serving up. And you have some choices. Do you want someone to come in and betray you? Do you want to lose all your money? Do you want to manifest a car accident? And it's not even we manifest those. That's a kind of spiritually immature interpretation of that. But it's everything is a reflection. And if you are reflecting out into the universe from an inner paradigm and a system of belief that says anything good goes away, anything good doesn't last, any joy or freedom I feel is fleeting, then you're going to have that experience reflected back to you over and over and over again until you change that tune, until you change that paradigm that operates from the truths, the ideas, and the beliefs, the things that you bought into that you think you know about yourself. When really all of it's bullshit. All of it was placed there. And all of it is in the way of what you really want. I mean, I think about it, and I sat with this energy, and I let it move through, and it was powerful, and there were tears, and I was remembering these things, and it was me understanding, but that's just my father as a reflection of me and as a reflection of the all that is, as a messenger, an agent of the universe telling me to remember later on in my life, this is where you hid your power from yourself, so take it back. Take it back. Don't forget to take it back. Forgiving my father, forgiving myself, forever believing those things, forever taking on beliefs that were layers upon layers upon layers upon layers that were keeping me further and further from the truth of who I am, which is just infinite love and beingness. Wrestling constantly and unconsciously with duality and with why can't I have anything that's good? Why can't I have anything good that lasts? Blah, 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 blah. And when you're in that kind of pain, it's kind of hard to see your way out of it. When you're living that close to your own belief system, it's hard to see beyond it. And in fact, that's how powerful our own paradigm is that that's the ultimate filter for who we are. We can't see anything beyond that. We can't see anything outside of that. And so it takes that moment of pain to be able to say, okay, it's not another fuck my life moment. I'm not being tested. Who's testing you? Yourself, if anything, because you're infinite and you are everything and everything is you. So who is doing the testing? You. And it's not even testing. It's reminding. And reminding that in this moment, you can either choose to be in the pain and you can choose to stay in the suffering and you can choose to stay in the struggle and you can choose to anchor in those bullshit beliefs, or you can see that you have a choice. You can see that I get to choose better and higher now for myself. Because in those moments of pain, you also have moments of clarity. You feel like you're cracking open, and that's an accurate description. Because it cracks open the paradigm that you previously weren't able to see beyond. It cracks open the filter of you that was creating such a bubble of your reality that you weren't aware that there was even anything beyond it. And you get to ask yourself, is this really true? Is this really true about me? And so that anger, once I sat with it and I let it move through and I let it transmute, and this is a powerful process and I guide people through this. This is what we do in Leading Edge Creator. And there's no more powerful purge. I don't care how many self-help journeys you've been on. I don't care how many personal development programs, books, blah, 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 all that shit that you've read. This works every time and for everybody. And even when you're experiencing it in a group, it's really more powerful one-to-one. This is something I do with my VIP clients, but it's also something when you experience in a group, it benefits everybody. And it peels away layers of illusion, layers and layers of veils and bullshit beliefs and ideas and thoughts that you've decided were true about you, that you agreed to over time and made yourself available for again and again and again. No one's doing that to you, okay? So when you unveil that, and it's not even that you're clearing or releasing or dissolving emotions, because it's all just energy. It's all just energy. It's being transmuted. And what is it being transmuted back to? Your power. Your power to be able to see a greater availability of the contents of your own consciousness, which is source, which is infinite intelligence, that you could not see before. You got new shit that comes to light. You have new information that you are now available for. You've created the capacity to receive it. You've created an availability and openness in terms of you're no longer an energy that's conflicting with it. So you can anchor it, you can live in it, and you're no longer living in just this idea of freedom and liberation from all that holds you back. It's not just the idea, you're living it. And so that cracked open such a profound layer. And here's what I want to say about this. I'm 52. I'm coming into my 52nd year of life. As of January 19th, I'll be 52. I have been doing this work for 20 years plus now. I'm coming into my 23rd year of being in service to the light. And I've worked in many capacities. I've worn many hats. As a mentor, teacher, master energy healer, hypnotherapist, Reiki practitioner, you name it. I mean, I've done it all. And I'm still doing more, and I'm still learning more. And I'm not saying I know everything. I'm saying actually the more that the more that I learn, the less I know. And that I maintain a kind of suppleness and fluidity in my thinking and being so that I can keep staying open, so that I can keep making room for more, so that I can keep being more and more available for the contents of consciousness and the all that is to flow to me and enrich my life even more. You can do this too. You don't need to be coming into your 23rd year of spiritual mentorship, of being a master energy healer, of being in service to the light to do this. You get to choose this now. And when do you get to choose this? In those moments where you feel the pain. I want you to always see that as it's a choice. I can sit with this. The reason it's coming up is because there are ways that I've cleverly kept disguising it from myself. There are ways that I kept suppressing it. There are ways that I kept like, no, not today, Satan. Not going to look at this. That's not me. I don't want that. So I'm just going to make pretend it's not there. And we do this for months and years and decades. But you know what? It never goes away. And here I was in the park on January 1st, experiencing this, taking this energy home, sitting myself down and saying, you know what? Whatever this layer is, it doesn't own me. I don't belong to it. This energy is mine to transmute or not. And every moment where you feel that pain, where it comes in, whether it's a moment of physical pain or emotional pain, those two are inextricably intertwined, by the way. It's also spiritual pain because it marks another notch where you are further away from your truth. And what's the truth? That you're infinite, that you're all that is, that you are limitless, that you are boundless, that you are eternal, you are infinite, you are love in a body. And you are source itself. That's your truth. And it's not your fault. You forgot. I forget. I've been doing this for a long time. I still forget. We fall asleep. We let our beliefs about the truth of who we are, the truth of reality, we let those things put us to sleep. And you're waiting for some prince to lay that kiss on your lips and wake you up. You're the prince. And there's no one that comes to save you. There's no rescue. Because you created all that stuff for yourself. You created that world. Things happened. They just happened. But it's the meanings that we created about what happened that design the whole paradigm of our lives, that we live under this umbrella then. We live in this bubble. We live in this kind of impenetrable fortress of solitude where we can't see beyond it. And because of it's our own making, we're the only ones that can dismantle it, deconstruct it, destroy it. And the only way to do that, the real anchor, the foundation for all that shit that builds it up and tears it down is the emotion. It's the same way every time. And so the longer you put off sitting with the deeper, darker shit, the longer you put off that shadow exploration, the longer you put off and push away at parts of yourself through an emotion you don't want to feel, the more the disconnection just takes hold and it expands and it appreciates over time, because that's where all your attention and awareness is going. And so with that, when I was finishing up my session of powerful release, I had a beautiful presence come in of the Black Madonna. And I had not worked with her in a long time. Honestly, it's been probably about 8 or 9 years since I worked with her before. Maybe not that long, but around that. Towards the better part of a decade. And she just kind of flowed in. And the Black Madonna is a very, very interesting energetic experience because she comes in at a time where we're feeling profound shadow and we're feeling like right at the cusp of almost being overtaken by it. And if you know what I mean by that, being almost overtaken by it is when you're like, fuck everything, fuck my life, fuck everybody in the world, fuck all the things, fuck everything I'm doing. I'm just done. I don't care. Screw everybody. I'm just going to eat several pints of Ben & Jerry's ice cream or bags of potato chips. You might like sugar, maybe you like salt, I don't know. And I'm just going to unplug from everything and I'm going to hate scroll social media so I can have more evidence of how much my life sucks because look at how happy everybody is. It's bullshit. And then I'll, just wallow in this. Maybe I'll figure it out. Maybe I won't. I don't care. So in those powerful moments, we're on that cusp. And when we decide not to take the high road, we decide we're going to succumb to the emotion. We decide that we're going to keep suppressing those emotional imprints even more. And we're going to let that own us. Instead of taking that energy that's just available potential that's been used towards something that wasn't beneficial in the highest way so far, you can transmute it to something like, remembering that you're infinite. Remembering that you can change anything in a moment at the drop of a hat if you choose that. And choose higher and better than you ever have. Because you're not that. You're not all those things that you believe or think or think that you are, right? So when she came in, and I was on this cusp, I was already coming to the end of the healing. And it was this soothing and gentle reminder and this kind of union of the Black Madonna coming into like tiny 6-year-old Kathryn and on the cusp of 52-year-old Kathryn. And it was this beautiful kind of triangulation of energy. And it was like we were all hugging each other and just 3 bitches hugging it out and just really loving each other and then feeling our energies just merge and fuse into one. And that's what we forget. We forget that it's all one. And even in the moments where we feel the pain, we are one with that. Even in the moments where we think shadow is bad, it's not. It's messages from the soul part of you saying, it's time to wake up, time to wake up, time to remember who you are. Time to remember what you did to yourself. No one did this to you. Things just happened. Things just happened. It's all just experience. But it's how we label or place value judgments on or create meanings around experience that ends up being the prisons of our own mind. Because then our thoughts will constantly corroborate that. And in those fuck my life moments where we give up control, the mind will just take over. The mind will just go into autopilot and create more of the same thoughts and feelings and beliefs over and over again because that's the directives that have been given forever and it hasn't changed, so they're going to keep going off of that script. It doesn't mean it's true because those thoughts that are going on when you're in those fuck my life moments, when you're in the pain, they're just echoes. They're phantoms of the past. They're just following the script that you gave it. You change the script, put new thoughts in, create new beliefs, develop a new sense of, you know what, anything is really possible. What if it's already true that I've evolved past a lot of where I've held myself back before? What if it's already true that I'm much bigger and more powerful than I ever thought I was? I just was working with bad intel, bad information, and information that came in when I was too young to know any different. To know that I had boundaries, to know that I had a choice, to know that I could choose differently and better and higher. What if it's already true that I've already changed this paradigm of me? And now I just need to step into it. So whoever might be watching this replay and whoever might really truly benefit from this, I just want to say this one last thing. You are more powerful than you ever believe you could be. And if you are working on transmuting some shadow, and you want to work with a very beautiful, loving energy that reminds you that you are light and you are power and you are eternal and you are bliss and you are infinite and you are resourceful as fuck and you are wise and you are important, you matter, and that you feel it all with a warm, loving embrace, kind of from the shadow part of you that's like, it's okay, we were here this whole time just to kind of remind you so you could remember who you really are, because that's the real purpose that shadow serves. It's not there to hurt you. It's not there to keep you small. It's that when you decide and give marching orders to the bigger, more infinite part of you that is true, then the bulk of your attention and awareness will go onto that. And it will consume everything that you're doing. It will be the reflection for everything that you're seeing, knowing, doing, believing is true in what you call physical reality, although none of it is physical. It's all just a mirror. It's all just a reflection. But you'll have the experience that is your life, that your life is small, that your life is contracted, that it is anything less than powerful, and you feel helpless and powerless and beyond help. None of those things are true. None of those things are true. And I've been doing this work for a long time, and I've worked with people who self-label as fucked up and beyond help. There is no such thing, sisters and brothers. There is no such thing. And I've worked with people who have self-labeled that for themselves for years. And we turn that shit around, sometimes in an afternoon. None of that is true. How can it be? When we're on this kind of reality, the ultimate reality game show that we call Earth, where everything is a play, and we're all taking on different roles. We're all masquerading as fucked up humans, really being soul beings that are all part of just one consciousness. How could there be anything wrong with you? How could you be broken if everything that you do, everything you are, serves as an expression of the greater consciousness of the one consciousness itself? So I hope this message finds you well. And if you want to have this experience of working with the Black Madonna, keep watching this page. You may want to follow me here on this page. Also, Leading Edge Creator is another way to follow me on Facebook. Instagram, I'll be posting stuff on there, YouTube. You want to probably, because who knows how long all this social media stuff will last, sign up to my email list, kathrynmassel.com, because on January 17th, I'm going to be sharing a channeled experience with Black Madonna, and we're going to work very powerfully with her energies. And I can't wait to share it with you. So stay tuned, and there'll be more information about that, about when and where and how and all that good stuff. But from my heart to yours, I want you to know, no matter how strong the emotion that you're feeling might be right now, it can be transmuted back into you remembering your power, remembering who you are, your true self, which is infinite, eternal, loving, wise, resourceful, and important.